Hello, I'm Tim Hall, a resident of Hudson, Wisconsin, and I am running for St. Croix County Board, District 6. I'm running for the position for re-election so that I can continue the work that I started 2 years ago. That work is to keep St. Croix County the sort of place where we want to be. A high quality of life, good jobs, recreation opportunities, and encouraging great businesses to come and enjoy what we have. The other thing that I want to do as county supervisor is continue to give back to a county that has given myself and my family so much. When we moved to the area 11 years ago, back from southern Wisconsin, we literally could have picked anywhere to go in the area. My job is pretty portable, but we selected St. Croix County because of its amenities, the quality of life, and the scenic beauty of the area, as well as the warm and friendly welcome we got when we came to the area. There are though issues in front of the county, issues, but also opportunities. And the main ones that I see it are as follows. We are the second fastest growing county in the state of Wisconsin. People want to move here, and as they move here, that puts some challenges to our system. Our system, like our county courthouse and county administrative buildings, were designed 35 years ago and built and have basically half of the capacity that they require to function. This includes our county jail and administrative offices and courtrooms. I think that one of the things we need to do is make sure that we keep those facilities up to date and sized to appropriately provide the services for our growing county. The other pressure that gets put on the county from this is just providing the level of services that growing population requires. And to balance that, we also want to make sure that we're holding the line on taxes and making sure that the tax dollars that the citizens contribute are being used wisely, without waste and without gold plating of anything. So to that end, that's one set of issues. Another is making sure that for my district, District 6, which is in Hudson, particularly getting a workable, fair library agreement in place with the Hudson Joint Library, and that's on the table now. We've gone, I believe, 4 years now without a workable agreement, and it results in a lot of contention on the board. We all agree that Hudson needs to be properly funded through the library systems. We want to make sure that happens. We're working, and we have a proposal in front of the city right now that we feel answers those questions, and I'm proud to have helped work on that solution for the county. The next is protecting our green spaces within the district. There's been some concern about development occurring behind the county building. The plan right now, and I've talked to the city administrator, the county board chair, there is no plan at this point to develop that land behind the county building, for any use whatsoever. It's not going to go to a developer. So we view county land as extremely valuable, and we also view the use of that land as retained for green space as much as possible to be a priority. If that were ever to come up, you could have my assurance that I would oppose any development in that area. Another area of concern for Hudson, in a way, even though it affects the larger county as well, is our ability to provide transit services for our community. And today, the county does provide ADA and senior-based transportation to allow people to get to doctor's appointments, life-critical things like, doctor's appointments, visits to shopping, and visits to, clinics. However, with the past 2 years with COVID, those services have been hit particularly hard. And we are now in the point where COVID seems to be in recession, and that we're able to get back to normal operations. So the county is working closely with our ADA partners and with private transportation providers to make sure that those services are back up and running at full capability. On top of that, though, however, is another issue, and that is employment in the county and getting people from residents to jobs. And the fact of the matter is a lot of people, for whatever reason, do not have access to a vehicle. Our industries in Hudson particularly New Richmond as well, have been asking, what can we do to get people from, say, Roberts or Hammond to get them to our jobs? I mean, they take applications all the time, and then the person looks like a great fit, but they have no way to get to work. What we're proposing right now and what we're investigating at the county level is a system of interconnects between New Richmond, Hudson, and River Falls to be able to get people who are currently using the existing community rideshare programs to a point where they can go between cities. The impact on the county budget would be minimal. We're talking about one van running, routes during the day between those three cities. And we think that that is a sustainable solution. However, we're looking for public input on that and ideas. We think that's going to be a great way to support our local businesses and their need for employment. And the other issue in the county, which is affordable housing for workers, making sure that where people can find affordable housing, they can get to where the jobs are. Finally, the big issue also is on everybody's mind too, because I pay taxes in the county as well, is making sure that our tax rates stay where they're at. And I quite frankly love the fact that our county board across the board is focused on that. We're making sure that by policy, we are not exceeding the rate of growth of income into the county. So when people come and build new homes, new businesses come in, that generates potential tax base. And we limit our budgetary increase top line, the most that we could go to be at or under that level of increase. So what that translates to is we pay as we go. We do not overtax businesses or people who are already here. We keep our budget in line with our capability to collect revenues at our existing mill rates. The other good news story that I want to make sure that we address is that I have voted and helped to keep the line on our tax rates. The mill rate has decreased in the 2 years that I've been in. There will be a slight bump back to the previous year if we approve the bonding for the county building, but we expect that will then continue back down again, and I'm very proud of that fact. The other thing that within the county that we provide for services and making sure they're efficiently done is public safety. Public safety is a huge concern for many people. It's where the bulk of your tax dollars actually go to, supporting our county sheriff's office, our healthcare campus, and making sure that we can retain our workers in that area, because we've had tremendous strain with people leaving our posts in St. Croix County for better paying opportunities, either in the private sector or across the St. Croix River in Minnesota. So I was proud to vote in favor of making sure that those workers, both in the county sheriff's department and on our healthcare campus, got incentive retention packages to help keep them in place. And I know that both Sheriff Knudsen and the manager of the healthcare campus were very appreciative of those efforts, and it has helped tremendously to keep our public services where we need to keep them, and our public safety team staffed at where they have to remain. In addition to that, expansion of our court system and our services, with the growing population is something that we're addressing. And we're doing that by adding 2.5 new positions to support the county sheriff and the healthcare campus. In the case of, social services, you ask, well, why are we doing that? County social services are often interlinked with our judicial system. Oftentimes the users of both systems are interlinked. So a family that has somebody who is incarcerated or coming out of incarceration or in pretrial, drug diversion programs will also have a need for county services. We listened to Sheriff Knudsen and the County Sheriff's Department and their request for help in funding, additional people to help with that type of problem. It relieves the policing staff to do what they need to do and what they do best, which is, enforcing our laws and providing safety protection. And it provides, the people in need with people trained in social services capability. So I think, that's a great win for public safety and for, the people in need in our county. And I'm really excited by the fact that I think that will drive, positive outcomes in our court system. The goal of everyone involved is to make sure that, we keep St. Croix County safe, but that we also re-enter those people where possible back into productive lives in the society. I think, basically the other thing that I wanted to touch on is my specific work on the transportation and transit committees. Those are sort of the workhorses of what we provide as a county. Clean roads, well-maintained roads that are plowed and sanded and salted. And as you all drive in the county, you'll find that, that's an important thing. It is for me as well. We have an extremely efficient department, and we make sure that by policy that, we are advancing efficiency wherever we can. Our brining crews that make sure that, we're using our salt efficiently are excellent. Our county engineer makes sure that we purchase ahead of time and with great forethought those supplies that we need to have so that we get the best prices. And so in that respect, we continually meet budgetary caps and are often underspent on what we need to do for the county while still maintaining a very high level of service. On the transit side, I already covered that a little bit. That's going to be an ongoing process. But in addition to just the short-term, the transit situation with doing an intercity connector, one of the things that we're looking at is the farther future. So as we make plans and do policy, we also don't want to close the door on opportunities for future expansion of transit capabilities. So there is a rail coalition that I belong to, as well as belonging on the transit committee. And in that coalition, I also work with the Hudson Chamber of Commerce representatives and others to discuss in the far future if we start getting passenger service between Eau Claire and St. Paul, what would be the impact on Hudson and in the district and the rest of the county as well, and where would stations be sited, and how could we use that as a driver of economic growth? So I think that's an important board to monitor. There's nothing immediate on the future for that right now, but we are looking at how do we optimize our position for that. Finally, I want to talk a little bit in closing about my approach to the county board and the decisions that are in front of us. I am not an ideologue. I take the problems that come before me as I have an engineering background and a business background. And so when I come to the table and look at what's in front of us, I tend to take the approach of what is best for District 6 and the rest of the county, regardless of what might be the popular choice. And so when I look at the issues that come before me, I want to get all of the facts. I want to get all of the citizens' input. And there have been a couple of cases where, I've got a lot of input. I do make an effort and a point to respond to every email, to call people and to take calls on every issue that is important to the residents of my district. I represent each and every one of you, not just those who happen to vote for me. And I take that very, very seriously. We may not agree at the end of the day on the solution, but you will know that I have listened to you. We've discussed it. I've given you my viewpoint, and I'm transparent. I like the fact that the county board runs in a nonpartisan fashion. We're all very collegial. We have a great mechanism for setting priorities in the county that we do as a team, where we solicit the public's input, we solicit the administration's input for the county, and then we as supervisors bring in our input. And that is a process that took place this summer over a period of like 4 or 5 meetings. And what I found is that when we frame issues as problems to be solved, people come together, we work together, and we build friendships and relationships, even though we may differ on some of the outcomes that we're seeking. I can say that I am extremely impressed and very grateful to be a part of that body. And I want to continue that as we go forward. With that, I would like to let you know that you're free to call me or email me at any point. You can reach me on my personal cell at 651-925-7556 or via email at timothy.j.hall@comcast.net, or you can go to the county webpage for supervisors. That information will also be there as well. And finally, in closing, I would ask that everyone get out and vote. Find the candidate who you agree with and support them, please. That democracy needs citizen involvement. And to be a healthy, growing county, we need your voice. And lastly, I'd like to take this time to thank the League of Women Voters for presenting this opportunity for me to express my views and where I hope to see the county go, and for the rest of the candidates as well. It's an important information service, and I'm glad that they're providing it. Take care.